So we're here with Tracy Weldon, a longtime employee here at Webco. And Tracy has the honor of being our very first off-the-clock employee spotlight. We're going to talk to Tracy today about the Little Lighthouse, which you've been involved in for several years.
First of all, thanks for having me. The Little Lighthouse, it's a school for special needs kids in Tulsa, tuition free. Parents don't pay any tuition, don't charge parents anything to send their kids there. I had been exposed to the Little Lighthouse through employees here at Webco that had children that had used the resources and gone to school. Back in 2006, my wife and I had our own little bundle of joy that had special needs. So I had heard about it. We contacted the Little Lighthouse. As soon as you contact them, you go on a waiting list. We were still in utero. Owen was probably still 5 months from being born, and we were on that waiting list. So he was one of the few kids that started at the Little Lighthouse. It's one of those things that when you get on that list, they have you come over and tour the place and show you around, but they sit you down and you watch a video. They show you a video about what they do and the kids that are involved and stuff, and it's a tearjerker. They grab a hold of you right there, and then they take you on the tour, and you actually see the therapists and the teachers and the people working with the children there and stuff, and it doesn't take you long to see what a phenomenal place it is. The people that work at the Little Lighthouse, they do it not to get rich. It is because they are called to help children, and we loved it. I mean, we felt Owen was exactly where God intended him to be. And it didn't take me and Marcy, my wife, long to realize that Down syndrome's a blessing. I mean, we are really fortunate. Most people that meet Owen, you don't see Down syndrome. You just see this happy-go-lucky kid that loves everybody.
And do you attribute some of that to what he's learned and been able to achieve through the Little Lighthouse?
His exposure at the Little Lighthouse, because everything's inclusive. Everybody's special needs. They have some of the staff's typical kids. They'll bring and they'll have in class, which has really turned out well for Owen, because when we put him in school, he transitions well. He doesn't feel like he's different. He doesn't feel like an outsider. He was where he was supposed to be. And it was hard to leave the Little Lighthouse when we transitioned from there. Once you're part of the Little Lighthouse, you're always part of the Little Lighthouse. I mean, it becomes a part of you. And it was the tournament, the Little Lighthouse tournament, Sandfest. This year was our 17th year. Started when Owen was at the Little Lighthouse. I had been in the volleyball community for years and stuff, and I thought this would be a good way to raise money, and I knew there was a lot of people that would want to take part. I got a few people together and said, let's raise money for the Little Lighthouse, let's have a tournament. So we did. In our first tournament, I think we had like 5 teams. I mean, we really raked them in. But it was fun. The word got out, and people started kind of saying, hey, Tracy's running a tournament every year that benefits the Little Lighthouse. Craig Davidson, who worked here at Webco with me, by the time I wanted to do the tournament stuff, Craig had networked and been playing enough that he had developed a lot of connections too. So when Craig heard that I was running this tournament, he contacted me. He said, hey, Trace, I think I can get a lot of people to play this tournament. And that very first year we moved it to sand, we ran 4s and 6s, and I bet we had 30 teams total. Quite a few. It was a big jump from the 5. We drew like 60 teams this year, and that's a lot to keep up with. Webco has gotten behind and been phenomenal at supporting. I think we had like 6 or 7 Webco teams this year. We had a lot of people at our tournament this year, and it seems like it just gets bigger every year. So the intent was just to raise a little bit of money to help the Little Lighthouse out. And I'm not saying we raise just a boatload of money now, but I feel like we make a difference. But they also have flaps for little ones. People gather, they get sponsors, and they walk around the Cassia Hall track or the Bishop Kelly track. That's a fundraiser there. They have a garden party fundraiser that is a huge fundraiser for them. They have people donate all kinds of things, vacations, sports tickets. The garden party is one of their big fundraisers. Then they have a golf tournament as well. And we had the opportunity to volunteer at all those things. So it was neat to go see how those ladies at the Little, I say ladies because there's not many men that work at the Little Lighthouse, and the women run it. And these women know how to fundraise. And I was very impressed with their organization. They have donors that come back year after year because they believe so much in their mission.
In what they're doing.
The Lighthouse depends hugely on volunteers.
Okay.
And all these kids that have community service requirements through school,
Right.
the little Lighthouse is a great place to get volunteer hours and stuff. I can tell you that those kids get more out of it than just volunteer hours. They get something out of being there and spending time with those kids.
Right. That's an amazing thing. They've been around for quite a long. It was started by two women.
1972.
Well, they certainly started a legacy.
Yes,
I
they
mean,
did.
all these years later, and they're still helping kids. I bet the number of children they've helped through the years is astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
It'd be
it's-
hard to count.
And a true blessing to so many people. Tracy, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today.
My pleasure.
We're very excited. I mean, you're our first.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you so much, and I mean, this is great. I mean, this is something everybody would commend you for. It's a fantastic thing.
I appreciate it, and it is truly my pleasure.
Well, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Clinton.